welcome to the Circus of Crazy, also known as the world. I am your ringmaster, GalaxyOfInk, here to take you through the crazy acrobatics of life. And today, on the last Saturday of Pride Month, we're going to be talking about, for me, what it means to be an ally to the community. First off, I just got my entire lower set of my mouth bottom braces on the other day, so if I have a lisp, I'm sorry, I really can't help it. Everything down there is hurting still, and I've got cuts all along my bottom lip right now. It's a mess down there, but I'm still committed and I'm gonna film this video no matter how stupid I may sound right now. So first things off, yes, I am an ally to the community. I am not a part of the LGBTQIA plus community. That was something that, although I didn't actively say that I was beforehand, I just kind of understood the implications of earlier this year. That just because you're an ally, you're not part of the community. You know, there's a difference there. You can support a group without being part of it, which is where I am. I think a lot of people, and I get this almost every time, specifically when I talk to people who are older than me, and I say, yes, I'm an ally of the LGBTQIA plus community, I always get, oh, are you gay? Or, oh, are you secretly transgender or something? And no, I'm not. It's not that I would be ashamed necessarily if I was, and I wouldn't be ashamed if I was, or I probably would still struggle with it, but I wouldn't be scared if I was, or I wouldn't be hiding it if I was. I'm just not. It's not a bad thing to be. Obviously, I am an ally of the community. I don't consider it a bad thing to be, but I'm not. So I don't consider it an insult when everybody calls me, oh, hey, are you part of the community, or are you gay, are you know, everything in there. I don't consider it an insult, but I want to make clear that I'm not, because I think there's an issue with people who aren't in tune with what the community is facing, or understands, or not even understands, but sees what the community has to deal with. I think there's a strong pushback to say, well, why are you part of this? You know, you're not, it doesn't affect you, so why do you care? I think that's the biggest question to tackle, which, I mean, I think is a really stupid argument, and especially, even if it's not stupid, it's incredibly self-centered. You know, I don't need to be facing an issue to know that it's an issue. You know, just because I'm not starving doesn't mean that there are people next door to me that aren't. And that doesn't mean that it's not a problem. Just because I didn't get hurt when I fell didn't mean that the person next to me who also tripped down didn't get hurt. And that's not something that I shouldn't talk about. It's just, to me, it's basic human decency and kindness to look at a problem and say, yeah, no, I'm not necessarily part of this problem, but that doesn't, I'm not partaking in the thing that's causing this to be a problem, and I am not facing these issues that you are, but that doesn't mean that I don't see it as an issue or a problem. This is still something that we should be working to fix, getting rid of these people who have just bigotry in their hearts, or simply do not understand. And I think, I mean, there's a crossover there, but still, you don't need to be a part of the community to understand that the community is facing a problem. That's like, you know, it's the same, almost, you can draw an analogy with the weather. Like, just because it's not snowing where I am doesn't mean that it isn't snowing 5 miles away. It's still an issue, or still something that you need to think about. Just because it's not directly happening to you doesn't mean it doesn't matter. And I think I get hung up with the fact that a lot of people don't seem to realize, it's not necessarily even selfishness, but it's very self-absorbed point of view to say, oh, well, you're not part of this community, so why do you care? I think that's a very self-absorbed thought process, whether or not you realize that it is. Just because you are not actively causing a problem in this community, or just because you do not directly experience the problems that this community has to face, does not mean you cannot respect the fact that they have to face these problems and try to work with them as much as you can to stop it. So getting on to working, stopping it. I mean, the thing is, mostly, there are people always, I believe that it's education that's gonna help. You know, just telling people, no, that's not what that is, or that's not actually what that means, or in my understanding, specifically when I do stuff, it's always in my understanding, that's not what that word means, or that's not what that term means. Just trying to engage and talk to people about it. You can't meet people, especially on these sorts of issues, you can't meet people who already have a wall up with, like, another wall. You have to try to break through it, or, and I think in the case of education, it's more like sliding, like, note cards or letters in through the cracks of the wall. You can't meet it with a hammer. You have to try your best to slip stuff through the cracks, and I think that's where you start to get people who are more involved in the issue and have bigger open eyes to say, hey, this is a problem. And I mean, also, there's always going to be people that just, for whatever reason, don't support the community, or don't support at all, or actively take part in bigotry. And I don't necessarily think, I mean, of course you have to try to educate that person, but in my opinion, there's a line, right? Where you just gotta say, hey, just shut up. Like, clearly you're not gonna try in any way, shape, or form to understand how these people have to live their lives, or how their life is and the struggles that they face. Clearly, if you're not going to take any time to try to understand that, I'm not going to take my time to try to tell you, because I'm not going to waste my time talking to a brick wall. So if you're not going to do anything to try to understand or try to make any sort of movement outwards, there's nothing that you can do as someone who's looking to educate to go forward with that. There's nothing you can really do. I'm wearing blue today because blue is actually the ally color of the LGBTQIA plus community. I was unaware of this. I didn't know that there was an ally color. I just Googled it. I think it was earlier in this month that I realized it was an ally color. I have to get a t-shirt from the Human Rights Campaign. They have an ally t-shirt. I want to get it so bad. I think another really important thing with being an ally in the community, for me especially, is to take the time to open and listen. Like, I don't know anything about, really, I cannot really completely ever understand what you go through. I can do my best to, or I think the best place that you can get to sometimes is understanding that you do not understand fully what they go through, but trying your best to internalize and say, well, I don't really know how this must feel, but I 100% understand how difficult this must be. So, like, you don't, it's an important community, if you are an ally, to sit and say, I don't know everything about this. I don't know most things about what you go through, and I don't know the intricacies of everything. That doesn't mean I won't try to educate myself or learn more about it, but that also comes with understanding that you don't know everything about it, and you are not a mouthpiece for everyone in the community. That is it for today's show. If I have made any, in your opinion, grave mistakes, or anything, or if anyone has anything that they want to talk to me about, or anyone part of the LGBTQIA plus community wants to give me some information or talk to me about certain things, I am 100% open to that. If I made a mistake, or if you think that I made a mistake, please tell me about it. As always, I'm love to talk to you about it and learn what I made and what I did as a mistake, or if I said something wrong or in a wrong way, or just your view on how I talked about these things or approached these subjects. But that is all for today's video. You can click here to review another video, or here to subscribe. Thank you. Bye!